choosing to watch this video, man. You know, family? Because there's more to life than just, seeking ones, of pure intentions, yo. There's a lot of people, yo, who are trying to be something. There's a lot of people focusing on something. But there's so many in this world, yo, that don't know what the fuck they want to do. People are thinking about going to, college. People are thinking about, like I say, just staying at their job for the rest of their fucking life, yo. But what I'm trying to remind y'all to do is choose a skill that you love. Choose a skill that forces you to feel like you are giving it your all. Don't rely on nobody, y'all. In this world, you want to ask yourself for things, y'all, not people or places, because they just might let you down. You know what I'm saying? You can't rely on them hoes or just your bros or nobody, because everybody will show you why you are feeling disappointed, family. That's why I remind you, y'all, choose a skill that not only is calling on you, but you, like I say, enjoy doing. There's a lot of people, y'all, who want to be content creators, y'all, but they don't know what to talk about. They just feel like they can do this shit for money, or they can do this for attraction and shit. But that's not the case, y'all. If you are trying to get into, creating, content, well, talk about what you like talking about. Not everybody's into the same things. So if you like talking about things of out of this world, if you like talking about aliens and shit like this, or you like talking about money, talk about what you want to. I'm just here to remind you that time is going by so fast, and so many people, y'all, are winning, and people are on the way to winning, y'all. But you might be sitting on your couch, staying at somebody else's crib, just, dwelling in the moment, when you could be doing something with that time. Because once you lose time in something you are giving your all to, well, you lose hope in yourself. You waste all what you were given, So I'm trying to remind y'all to pick a skill. And, I'm not saying to stick with it your whole life, but to give it time to flutter, y'all. Because we're all trying to grow in this game we call life, y'all. So, the video that I want to talk to y'all today about is, like I say, don't let the option choose you. You must define what you are trying to get out of life, y'all. A lot of people are stuck out here, y'all. They don't want to work no 9-to-5 job their whole life because they're not giving it their all, y'all. They're truly not, if you want to say, happy, because they don't know what their life's going to hold for them in the next years upcoming. So that's why I tell y'all, family, instead of thinking about something, you might as well just take some action on it, because it's going to hurt you in the long run, y'all. Because the more time you spend on this earth, when you could have did something with it, you're realizing that you didn't get shit to work in your favor, I don't want y'all to go after no women, y'all, if y'all don't even have y'all money right. Because how the fuck can you provide for her when you still gotta provide for yourself, y'all? And don't even mention kids right now or anything like that, y'all, because it's gonna hurt you knowing that, you don't want your kids to come up struggling and shit like you once did. If that was the case, y'all, you want to make life easier for not only you, but for the ones that are your family. But you can't do that, y'all, if, like I say, you're not worked on, or you're choosing to, like I say, leave yourself in the past, y'all. This life is, like I say, a challenge, and you should look at it like, I can't let it defeat me. Because while you wanting everything that's, life giving you, y'all, you realize that life is still in your way, because it's made for you to fail in this world, y'all. It's made for you to feel stuck. It's made for you to, like I say, be someone like a peasant, because you haven't thought of a way to how to free yourself from this mental hell or this crisis, So, I remind y'all in this video, family, choose what you want to be, and start planning, start acting, and start thinking about that now, because life is only gonna show you why you should have took action now. Remember though, family, you are young now. You have all the time in the world to get what you want. So why not start bit by bit by bit, y'all? There's so many people, y'all, who are losing hope. There's so many people who are just thinking like, damn, I might not get there. I might not, be worth it. Or I might not, like I say, have what it takes to enjoy this journey. But that's why, it's called a journey, y'all, because of the trials and maybe the tribulations that you will end up facing. Not everybody wants to do that, because not everybody has consistency in their veins. Not everybody wants to be something because they're so worried about, like I say, everybody else and shit. Those are stalkers, man. You want to be the motivator. You want to be the light around the darkness that everybody can't seem to get their head off, because, well, like I say, they're living in that dwelling stage of life. You're living in the action stages of life. So you're reminding people, like I say, why it's important to not just stay still and stuck, But this video is going to help you out if you're looking for a need of motivation, because no matter what the fuck you are doing, y'all, even if you are at a job right now and you're watching me, well, you must remind yourself that I'm here to start my business. I'm here to get what I need to get out of this company, so I could, start my own company, start my own, job, start my own whatever you're looking for out of, life. But you must be willing to suck that shit up, y'all, and take whatever's thrown at you, because you came down here to embrace everything, That's why you're embarking on change now, y'all, because you don't like feeling like I'm stuck. You don't like feeling like, you can't, experience all of what life is showing you, y'all. But all it takes is for you to be happy, for you to be patient, and for you to never stop putting down, like I said, what you came down here to do, y'all. Remember, y'all, you want to live detached every single day of your existence, because what's the point of attaching yourself to something or someone, y'all, when, like I say, you're someone of self-worth and value, man. So that's why I give y'all this video, because in a world like this, y'all, if you are attached to things, people, or places, y'all, you're gonna hurt yourself faster, because you're expecting too much instead of trying to change, If you ain't changing, y'all, well then the world's leaving you behind, because the world is constantly evolving. You're someone with valueness, as long as you can put that valuableness aside and into the world, y'all, So that's why I remind y'all, family, that you want to walk in this world detached, Stop attaching yourself to things. Stop being attached to money and shit like that, y'all, because money is just an illusion. It's a tactic. It's like an obstacle, y'all. Look at work like an obstacle course, y'all, because you're there in need of something. What does the job get from you, y'all? Your time. I'm not saying to diss a job or to say that this job ain't nothing, because a job is still a good thing, because you're gaining experience. You're gaining, like I say, mental, fortitude, because it's building up your mind state, and it's reminding you why you don't want to be there forever. But you gotta, like I say, brainstorm. You gotta think about, what is it that I want to do? What am I trying to become? What was I put here down for? Those are the questions you want to ask yourself while you are letting life, y'all, family. Think like this: what did I come down here for? What do I want to be? And when I die, will I be happy upon the life that I took on and lived? Just say you have transcended and something happened and you lost your life, right? But you were shown your life in repeat. Would you be happy with that? Would you like the way you lived, knowing that you chose to live peacefully instead of suffering, knowing that you could have been something, And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see, man. It's not easy for everybody, y'all, because everybody goes through something different. But they give up fast because like I say, people don't have what it takes to stand on their, like I say, goals, man, you know? So in these channels, man, that are of self-improvement, y'all, we're only pushing out a positive message to remain, you know, strong. Don't let nothing break your ass out here, man, because, you know, in this world, y'all, as I'm telling y'all in many other of my videos, y'all, the world wants you to become someone that's soft and that's, you know, chasing. You're the prize, though, y'all. So you should be putting in that work every fucking day. You know, I don't know why y'all give up so easily, y'all. Like, what do y'all have to lose, y'all, other than knowing that you already lost because you're accepting the terms of life, you know? You don't want to accept nothing. You want to, you know, spark curiosity and make change because this world needs that, y'all. This world craves change, y'all. But you got to be the one to change it, you know? You know, semen retention is the first priority, y'all, for a man, y'all. You know why? Because you are showing who you are by the journey that has defined you. And I'm not talking about possessions or materialistic things, but I'm reminding you of who you became. You know, you're not like who you once were. So where you were choosing, like I say, either people, possessions, or things that made you feel latched on to. You're so worried about what life has to offer, what the end reward can be, as if I just keep going and never burn out, you know? That's why I tell y'all, family, this life that I'm giving y'all, you know, this is how I see my reality to be. And other people's realities are different. Some people, you know, they're lost in this matrix, y'all, and they're in search of, you know, help. But they don't know how to get that help because people are too vulnerable in this world that they don't want to go to nobody else, y'all. You know, people don't want no fucking financial teacher or just a trainer to work on your body. Everybody wants to get out the gutter for themselves. And that's why you have yourself, man. You got to talk to yourself when you can talk to nobody else, man. Because you need reevaluation, you know? If you're not evaluating who you are and what you have become, you don't want to change, you know, because when you are changing, you're looking at a part of your life and what you must and who you got to become, you know. I'll remind y'all, though, that it's going to be hell, you know. Think about it like this, family. Say, you know, you are doing something, but it's not truly what you're trying to do, you know. Well, start planning ahead, y'all. Start looking long-term jeopardy-wise because the goal is always long-term. You know, it's just like people want to retire, right? But not knowing that you must work to become retired, y'all. You must do something. You must work at something, you know, because the retirement, you know, ain't just going to happen for you, y'all. Because in a world like this, y'all, you're forced to go get it. You're forced to struggle, you know? And I just want to remind y'all, family, that don't give up, man. Because people want you to fall out here. People are counting on your demise. People want to talk about the ones who have failed so they can remind themselves that they are okay with where they are, you know? And I don't want you to be that kind of person that gave up on yourself, y'all. Because you are so much most worth, you know, than what others are claiming themselves to be. You have more worth because you are trying. You have more worth because you're not backing down from nothing or no one, you know. This video I have gave y'all, it was about, you know, rethinking, you know, if you want to call your actions, and rethinking on the strategies that you are using because you might have to switch it up, you know. This journey can break most individuals, y'all. And that's why I tell y'all now in this video that you are 1%er, y'all. Because not everybody is like you in this world. Not everybody's thinking about change, but they're thinking about comfort. They're thinking about what can grant them temporary peace, y'all. Because peace is, like I say, all-knowing, everlasting. You know, something that you can only find because peace doesn't go to the ones that want it. They go for the ones who are seeking it, you know? That's the only difference about living in this life, y'all. It's important to know that while I'm young, family, what is it that, you know, I have been searching for, you know? When I make these videos, y'all, I'm not really expecting nothing in return. I just do them, y'all, because not only does it get rid of what they call boredness, but it reminds me that I have something to achieve, something to get towards, something to focus on, because this is a part of me, you know? Nobody else helped me get here but myself. So the business that I have slowly built up, y'all, it took action that I have gave, you know? That's why, you know, all these YouTubers out here, y'all, that are never stopping, whatever they provide, y'all. Some people, like I say, make pranks or challenges, or just going and trying fucking, you know, food from everywhere. But the goal is, they're choosing to do something instead of staying still and forgotten. I'm pretty sure right now, y'all, every fucking person who has passed away, which was somebody that have became value, let's just say a rapper or an actor or an artist, or just someone who provided value to the world, that was known and, you know, respected by many of their followers, right? Well, since they're not here no more, y'all, you can only remember them for who and what they once did that inspired and impacted your life, right? So why not become, you know, that right there, y'all? You looked up to them for a reason, and for your reasons only. And that's why, you know, you studied them, admired them, and liked how they taught. But you must remind yourself that they're not here no more. In a world like this, y'all, everybody eventually fades one day. We don't know when that day is, but we are not going to be here forever. So even if you don't want to do something, or even if you do, remind yourself what the fuck that person meant to you, because now that they're not here no more to remind you, you got to be your own reminder, y'all. You got to be the person to get up even when you don't want to get up, you know, because it's not about how you feel. It's about knowing that, you know, I have a purpose in life. I have this mission that I must stick to, you know, whether you are looking for that physique body, whether you are looking for, you know, financial stability, whether you are looking for, you know, just a motivator to remind you that you're not the only one out here that feels like that, y'all. It's just, you know, to really get what I'm saying, y'all, is to be somebody who's on the mission. You know, I'm on the mission, y'all, because I never let the mission defeat me. If I was to give up right now, y'all, well, I would just delete these channels, or I would delete everything that I have once did for the world. And when I say the world, y'all, I mean universe, y'all, because the universe has put me down here with a piece of that universe inside of me. That's why I'm universal. That's why my message has reached across the world and you know, has gained millions of mindsets. Because I realize who and what my power is, y'all. I'm not just someone that has no worth. I'm reminded every single day why I have it. That's why I don't give up now. You know, family? I never gave up on myself. I'm just strong, you know? Mentally, though, more importantly, because, you know, you could be a strong person physically, but you will give up, y'all, if you feel like no change is occurring or you're not seeking progression, you know? That's why I say, family, you don't want to give the fuck up, y'all. Because if you give up, you let yourself down. And, you know, you're gonna forever be living in that doubt, y'all. You know? You don't want to live in doubt. You want to live happily, because this world is something that you're not going to experience forever, y'all. You know? And that's exactly why I push out these videos, man. Because I know someone needs proper awareness, but they need more so motivation, because everybody wants to, you know, be somebody that inspires others, y'all. That's exactly why everybody has chose to be something. Whether they're a football player, whether they're, like I say, a scout, or they're just someone that you might not even think of, like a trainee, you know, because they like helping other individuals, y'all. That's where they get their power from, you know. it was never about the funds, but it was more so about, like I say, helping other people. And if you can't help others, y'all, well, you have no value, you know? So I remind y'all, man, you know, I hope you think about this deeply. What is your value, you know? And that's why I advise y'all to get on the journey, because you will see your value. You will know your value, y'all, because your value ain't tied to what others think of you. It's about knowing what you have did with your time. You know, family? So I hope that this video has hit your mind differently, y'all. Just like all my other videos, you know, family? There are topics that are important because in a world like this, you must remind yourself that I matter just like everybody else. No matter how much fucking money someone has, no matter how popular someone is, y'all. It's not about seeking money or fame, but it's about seeking, like I say, power, which is believing in your fucking self, y'all. You need belief in you. You know, that's what's the most important thing to help you reach anything you want, you know? And that's the difference between you and everybody else, y'all. Most people are living, not seeking what the fuck they're gonna be later on, because not everybody's looking at life long-term jeopardy wise as myself, y'all. Some people are just worrying about what the fuck they are doing now, but that shit's gonna creep up on you because life is short, y'all. I'm already, you know, in my 20s, y'all, but I had once lived, you know, as a teen, as a child, as someone who was not necessarily aware, you know, and that's why I have chose to be somebody so quickly, because that just shows you that this time that we are living in now, y'all, should be heavily appreciated, y'all. I mean, your parents, if you have them, you know, they have helped you become somebody over the years. They have shaped you, forged you, and made you who they once were, right? But you don't want to be in that same, you know, mind state forever of just seeking or looking up to, y'all. You want to be like somebody that is you, you know, because everybody looks up to everybody differently, y'all. So even though I'm not doing much, like going out or just trying to show y'all things, I remind y'all that even in, you know, my car that I'm in, on the camera that I'm looking at, I'm still providing y'all substantial amount of value, because the value's in you. You are the value. You fucking give, like I say, value to anything and everything around you, y'all. There wouldn't be nothing that would be up 100%, y'all, if it wasn't for you putting in your effort, or like I say, trying, because you give life to this world, y'all, because you are truly living in it, you know? So we're all here creating value to the world, y'all, but the only thing about you is that you are choosing to stand out, because you are choosing to be someone not of the norm, you know? Before I end this video and I cut the camera off, man, if you are still watching to the end of this video, man, well, know that not everything will go in your favor. You will take more L's than W's. I can remind you on that. You will take so many L's, because the more and more L's you take, the more and more it's reminding you that you're so close to that finish line, you know? The finish line that we all want to get to, y'all, is in our mind. It's not there. It's not a physical thing to where you're, you know, passing that physical, you know, race, and, you know, you pass those ribbons and you bust them with your body. No, it's mentally. And that's why, you know, the only thing that can, you know, go against you while you're grinding is your mental, your space, because you're creating those thoughts in your brain, y'all. So whether you are seeing yourself as someone who matters, or you're just trying to get near your goals, well, I remind you that that's why you must, you know, love yourself, man, first. You know, you can't get on the camera, y'all, and speak towards others or speak to others if you don't love yourself, because you're not going to come off as being someone who can provide the message in a positive manner, y'all, because you're not even gonna like who you are when you're not on the camera, you know? So I'll remind y'all in this video, man, start now while you're young, man. Push this content out, man, and just don't worry about it. Push it out, y'all, and keep making more, because that's how you build your value up to the world, y'all, because people will look at your story like you never gave the fuck up. You never stayed still or stayed down. You climbed to the heavens. You climbed more so upon that tower that's endless, because it ends when you leave this world, y'all. You know, your loved ones that are not here no more, y'all, they're praying and preaching for you to, you know, whatever you love to do, find a way to get there. That's why they speak through me to encourage you to keep going, y'all, because not everybody's talking about this. You know, people, like I say, will pay you a paycheck to keep you coming to them, but your value is, you know, who you are defined as and what you are striving to be, you know? I don't find, like, you know, if you want to say happiness and talking about others, because we have all been talked about before. You know, we have all been gossiped about. What I find, you know, true happiness in is knowing that people watch me so I can provide them with reality, knowing that the world don't give a fuck about you at all in the slightest. They want you to die young. They want you to be weak. They don't want men to be men, and they want women, like I say, to be these sluts and these hoes, because they're wasting their value, you know? This is some deep shit, y'all, and it can hit your mind differently, y'all, if you don't know how to, like I say, think outside the fucking box, you know? Everybody wants the keys to the city, y'all. Everybody wants the keys to the fucking city, right? But God's only gonna give you that shit, y'all, when He has seen that you earned it. When He has seen that you are taking action, you know? When He sees that, okay, my son is working, and he's not working for others, but he's working for himself. He's working for, like I say, self-preservation. So I must reward him. I must show him that even though nobody else is taking him serious, I am, because I never seen him quit. I never seen him stop. I never seen him submit, y'all. Don't be a person that submits. Don't tap out. Make the world feel tapped out, because you're someone that's not like the world, yo. You're pretty much the complete opposite. So just imagine of 100 billion people like you, this world wouldn't be what it is today, y'all, because nobody would be accepting, like I say, what the fuck is giving. Everybody's gonna seek higher, you know? You want the max potential out of life, y'all. You don't just want the bare fucking minimum, y'all, you know? But this was the video, though, family, you know? I came on here to give y'all bits and bits of my energy, y'all, what peace is, because even though I found peace, it reminds me that I should never be comfortable, because comfortability is the worst drug of them all. It's not weed. It's not, you know, dope or drugs or just pills. You know, those are bad too, yes. So don't feel like just because, you know, it's not, it is, y'all. That's where they are made, to keep you, you know, stuck up in your brain, because the worst enemy that can be upon you is your mind, because the mind can go against you, y'all, if you, like I say, indulge in things that you're not supposed to be in, you know? So, as I give y'all this video, man, I hope that you are sticking to your business, man. I hope that you keep on, like I'm saying, investing in yourself. Keep on saving your money up. Saving your money is the most important thing of them all. I'm going to make a video about saving your money, because saving your money is showing you that you have discipline. It may not show you that you'll have everything and where you're supposed to head, but the money's still in your favor, and you still have all those funds to show you that you have what it takes to be someone of value in this world, y'all, because the value is upon yours, you know? This video will find who needs to see this. I'm not pushing it out or sharing it at all. I don't want, you know, everybody in this fucking world to see this video, y'all, because I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for the people who are choosing to click up on this video and listen to the end, Whether whatever you are doing, smoking or not, drinking or not, as long as you don't stay stuck, still, and you are in search of gains, y'all. You want gains in this world, y'all. Always choose gains over, like I say, pleasure and comfort. Because this world won't end well for you, y'all, if you are looking for those kind of sources, But this was the video, though, family. Remember, everybody wants the keys to the city, but the keys are only gonna come your way when you have activated your key from within you, y'all. Because everything is internally first. To live life good externally is to search for that inner peace, y'all. Because inner peace is something that no one can take away, no matter what the fuck they are doing to you. They can't, distract you in the slightest once you find out how to activate yourself, family. This was a video, but I hope y'all, like I say, keep striving for all those YouTube channels that are, coming up. Keep making those videos. Never give the fuck up, because you have people counting on you. You have people that watch you and look up to your videos. You have people that comment on your videos that tell you that you are doing the right thing. So why would you give up now? You have came so fucking far, chosen one. You have came so far. Don't let, like I say, the media, the crowd, or just these motherfucking gurus tell you that you are fucking up. No. They're worrying about everybody else too much, and that's why they ain't nothing. But you are everything, though, because unlike them, yo, you have the potential to step out in this world, not live comfortably, but to persuade others that they can get to where they want to go, y'all. I might just have to drop some more game for y'all, because in this life, y'all, people don't want game. Like I say, they just want what the fuck is so easy, But I'm gonna remind y'all now, though, y'all, just by you stepping out in this world, y'all, you are someone that truly matters, y'all, because you are choosing life instead of decaying, Everybody lives hoping that they decay, but you are actually trying to live, and you want to live forever. For the people who make videos and are consistent with their life, well, I'm pretty sure all y'all want to live forever, because you're using what God has gave you, man. Free will. And you're using that will to become somebody of excellent potential, y'all. That's what I remind y'all. There are people who do care for you. People who do care about your videos or your content, because you're a creator like everybody else. It's just you're not like them. You don't want to be like them either. And no matter what the fuck you do, I'll remind you that you can be somebody as well, family. Just don't listen to them critics, man, because they can get in your mind and make you feel like you're not doing enough. You're doing enough as long as you don't quit, But this was the video, family. You will glow like a fucking chain. The chain comes from me, y'all. You can't even see the chain, because the gold that's emitted from this is already exists within you, y'all, because it's it's an element on the periodic table that you have. You have mostly all those fucking elements in you. Carbon, calcium, aluminum, gold. You have all of them in you. When you take your power back, you start releasing your fucking energy, y'all. But God is showing you in this video that's why it's important to remind yourself that you matter, because everybody doesn't matter, because they don't want to matter, y'all. They want the easy way out, I don't look or seek fame. All I seek is, potential. All I seek is aiding. All I seek is, reminding y'all that this is why you can't give up now, man. This is the fourth quarter, but this shit is endlessly, because it ain't gonna stop, never, I'll see y'all, though, in the next video, man. I hope y'all keep your minds right, and I hope y'all train every fucking day. Get stronger. Do those push-ups. Do those, like I say, crunches. Do what you can to look your sharpest forever, y'all, because now that you are free, it's not about impressing or flexing, but it's about trying to live forever the way you want to, because we all have a time, man. But I'll see y'all, man.